I go, man, if this one doesn't go, I think I gotta. And it makes me emotional to say it. I go, if this one doesn't go, I think it's not for me.
Welcome to the Carey Nieuwhof Leadership Podcast. I'm so glad you joined us today, man. I had so much fun interviewing John Crist. It's his second time on the podcast. He's actually one of our most downloaded episodes ever. Last time I sat down with John, he opened up about being canceled, his journey through rehab, and I really want to encourage you to listen to that or watch it on YouTube. And today we catch up and talk about everything that's happened since, including getting the Tonight Show, what he thinks is right and wrong with the church today, where comedy is going, and a whole lot more. So welcome to the podcast. Hope our time together today helps you thrive in life and leadership. If you're new here, welcome. We have a lot of young listeners listening. We love young leaders. And if this episode means something to you, it would mean the world to me if you left a rating and review wherever you're watching, and maybe drop a comment as well. We'd really appreciate that. So John Crist is one of today's fast-rising stand-up comedians with more than 1 billion video views, over 7 million fans on social media, and sold-out shows from coast to coast. John also hosts his own weekly podcast called Net Positive. I was a guest on that, and we'll link to that in the show notes as well. So without further ado, my conversation with the one and only John Crist. John, I've been looking forward to this. Welcome back.
Man, I'm back.
Have you been looking forward to this?
Oh yeah. Well, since the first one. I mean, it was really a miracle that I would tell people that all the time. I go, I wouldn't probably do a podcast like, now we're friends.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, I was like, I would never do a podcast like that. But I go, first of all, we were in Peterborough, Ontario.
Shout out Peterborough.
Yeah. So you go, we get this request to do a podcast. And I think if it wasn't, I go, yeah, I'm doing nothing up there. And I was like, man, I should do that for my podcast. Like Taylor Swift. You were like, I can't get her in Nashville, but you're like, I'm in Manitoba. You're like, you are? All right, well, we'll do the pod. You know
do the pod.
You're like, this is Manitoba's biggest podcast. You're like, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
If you want to do find the touring artist's most remote tour stop, and then say we do a podcast out of there, and then he's more likely to probably do it.
So we did. We shout out to the church that we were able to rent as our studio.
Yeah,
that was a big moment for you, wasn't it?
Your podcast?
Well, no.
Or that era not a big of my
moment.
life.
That era of your life. Yeah, being on my show was a really big deal, wasn't it? Wasn't it, John? That was a big deal.
I like to, like in my live show, like when I started, I was talking about, like youth group and, meeting girls at youth group. And then I kind of moved on to like, I live in LA and dating in LA. And then I started talking about, like I started paying taxes and a lot of taxes. And then I started to have feelings about the government. And then I got in a relationship and my parents are aging. And now I have nieces and nephews. Like if you follow my journey, like what I was dealing with in my life back then versus now is different.
It is different.
Wildly different. So you say, do you want to edit that? I mean, you didn't ask that, but the first time, do you want to edit this or do you want to change it? I go, no, because that's where I was then. And some of that stuff I probably don't align with as closely.
Sure.
But that's where I was then. And this is where I am now. And then, I mean, we just talked about you've had guests 6, 7, 8 times.
That's what I like. I like the layers to guests. Because you're like, well, 7 times, what is there left to talk about?
Yes, it should be, if you're living, it should be new every time.
You don't do that with your friends, right? No. It's like, we've seen you 7 times, so that's enough.
Yeah. You see him every day? Yes.
No, the episode really took off. It might be our most downloaded, listened to, watched episode ever. And it just took off. You were so transparent. You were so open, and I really appreciate that. And like you said, I always give guests the opportunity to edit anything out that they're not going to want on the internet. But
we'll say it for the record that we didn't.
We did not. That was
I don't know.
was uncut.
I don't think we did.
And I'll shout out your book again, Delete That, which I think
Oh, yeah.
every single church leader should read. And you're just so transparent about it. So that's incredible. You have had some big moments in the last 2 years. This year.
Because of your pod.
Because of my
Yeah,
pod.
I think
That's
what it
right.
was.
That's right. I will take all the credit.
Yeah.
No. The Tonight Show. Dude.
Yeah, in June we did the Tonight Show.
Yeah. So that is such like, I mean, I don't know how long the Tonight Show's been going. Long before I was born.
Long before, yeah. And we'll be going when we're off this planet.
Somebody will take over for Fallon one day.
Yeah.
Walk us through that. Like, what is it like to be on the Tonight Show?
And what for every comedian, I think it's your Super Bowl. Like a music artist can do the Tonight Show, but the Tonight Show is comedy.
Yeah.
Like for Avril Lavigne or for whatever. Like I got the Tonight Show. Like, well, it's not similar for a comedian to do it. Maybe it would be like singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl or the halftime. That would be like the pinnacle for a music artist.
Yeah.
I think the Super Bowl halftime. For a comedian would be the Tonight Show. And that,
It is.
Yeah. And we all grew. When I was young, my dad asked me one time, I was probably 13. He goes, what do you want to do for a living? What would you like to do for a job? And I said, I want to be Jay Leno. Because I remember we didn't have a TV growing up.
Okay.
And I would, we either went somewhere and I had seen stand-up comedy, but I didn't know that was like a job. But you know what I'm saying? I didn't imagine that was like a, and I said, I remember watching and he was talking about what happened that day. They talk about what happened that day.
Yeah. It's the narrative.
And I
news.
go, so hold on. I mean, I'm 12. I go, so that guy goes to work and lays the concrete for the buildings. And that guy does that?
Yeah, that's a job.
In like a 12-year-old, I go, this is because there was a studio and there was a set. I go, that looks like a job. That guy looks like he does this every day. And I go, when you're 10, how does that guy get to do that? And that guy has to be a roofer. Not why, dude, but I go, well, I want to do that one. And shout out to my family or my parents that I was never.
Your dad didn't say, so law school, med school.
No. And we would always growing up, no one ever said I couldn't do anything.
That's pretty cool. I remember you saying on your podcast recently, and maybe I got the story wrong, but there was, your roots of comedy. I'll come back to the Tonight Show. But speaking of your childhood, it was like you were doing something with your friends, and they were writing a script, and you said, "Oh, I can make it funnier." You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
Was that the first light bulb that? Okay, tell us about that.
No, actually, no.
Okay.
So when I worked at I wanted to be a sports anchor.
Oh, that's fun.
Because I was like,
because you're really into sports.
In college, I was into journalism broadcasting. That was my major.
Cool.
And I went to my CBS 42 is where I was an intern at my senior year of college. And I was frustrated by the reading off the teleprompter.
Yeah.
I go for a news story. I go, can you just put the bullet points up there and I'll just riff it? And they were like, no, that's not how news works. First of all, I'll just be like, 6 people or so got murdered, and it was like on the east side of town. It was like, and I would just and they were like, well, that's absolutely not. And John Mark Green, who's the cameraman that I would ride around with all day, he said, you should try stand-up comedy.
Oh, he gave you that idea.
Yes, but that was when I started. It was a phone isn't like it is now, where you can just have notes section. I just started writing things down that I thought were funny.
And you're how old?
20. I was in college. 20.
21.
Yeah. I didn't have any knowledge of any stand-up comedy. It took me 5 years I started when I was 25. It took me 5 years of writing things down and mulling it over in my head. There's no, Stand-up comedy is the coolest job, I believe, on planet Earth. Jerry Seinfeld said if you thought you could do it, you would do it. Like the NBA. If you thought you could play in the NBA, you would be playing in the NBA. And he said the only barrier to entry is fear.
It's hard, I was telling you.
There's no, you don't have to have any money.
Yep.
You don't have to, like, if you want to go to med school.
You won't have any money.
You won't have any money. I've said this before, but if you want to go to med school, it's going to be 12 years until you get the title. Doctor. Stand-up comedy gets the title on day one.
That's true.
They would introduce, there's an open mic tonight. If you wanted to go on it, I could get you on it. Or you could go on the East Room at 8 p.m. in Nashville, the East Room. Everybody could do it.
It's amazing.
And every city in America, by the way, has one.
Yep. Yeah.
You could start tonight.
Our mutual friend, John Acuff, did a couple nights of stand-up a few years ago.
Yeah.
And decided it wasn't for him.
It's not for everybody.
He likes his job.
Yeah.
So you're 20.
Yeah.
You're in news. How did that go? I imagine you might have been not the most satisfied employee.
I'm not satisfied at anything, dude. Well, that's my fiance, dude. I'm not. He's like, oh, here we go with this again. Yeah. I think I just generally.
Are you unemployable?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would have to. I mean, I think the general mindset of a comedian is just sit in the back and go, oh, okay. I think to anything,
right?
To church, to politics, to social media, to the way your neighborhood works. Like, he's not going to be up there, but he's going to be. If that could be a title of a podcast, it can't. But like, that's it. Which does make you great. I think it's stand up, and then it has severe limitations in my personal life.
Like what?
Oh, that I think. I mean, my fiance will tell you that I think everybody is full of crap for the most part. I mean, unless. I think everybody, oh, he's lying. Oh, they're just doing that for clicks. Oh, they're just doing that to make money. Oh, he just wants power. Oh, he just like, I boil it everybody down to like, I don't believe the sincerity or there has to be some kind of, I don't know, skeleton in that guy's closet or something. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I think I do. Yeah. So there's a cynicism to it.
Yeah. Which I think everybody has to have to be a comedian. And there's other people that like, you look at a guy like Elon Musk or Trump or something like that, or you're like, well, people say like mean things to that. I go, yeah, his brain's not like yours. It does, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whether you agree with, it's like, to be able to take that level of like leadership in your company and be like, his brain doesn't work like yours.
You're not going to be like Elon Musk.
His brain doesn't work like yours. Now he, I think I should speak for him, but like, he's got a bunch of different kids with a bunch of different people. And, but
yes,
like, it's all not kind of, like, it's same with, there's a lot of kind of leaders that like their personal life is kind of like, wait, what? You know, you hear like a guy that, is unbelievable in this area. And then you go, wait, what about that? You know, the greatness of the quality causes challenges elsewhere.
Morgan Housel says, if you really admire someone, you got to admire the whole thing. Like you might admire their money or their success or whatever, but if you want that gift, you sign up for the whole package. I think that's a really good observation. So you've got that. You know, pastors have a version of that. I have trouble sitting in church because I've led church for so long that it's like this critical filter.
Man.
That like,
Preach.
Oh, why did you do that in the message? Or, oh, that worship leader really doesn't know how to do a bridge, or, she's flat or he's flat.
My fiance is like, I have to like, I go about something. And we go, by the way, we're on the road we go to other churches, and she goes, she doesn't say you have, she goes, it would benefit you to switch that off.
How do you?
I mean, I think I
can't. I don't know.
I can't. No, I mean, I don't
know how to turn off my leaderboard.
But it's maybe not for. I mean, I think every couple, I could be wrong. They get into. We went to a church on the road. We were on the road, and some friends invited us to church, so we were not at our home church just a couple weekends ago. And I was like, I know exactly what me and Lydia are going to talk about in the car. I know exactly what we're going to talk about. And I think it has to be coupled maybe with the way I can do it better. I go, that being said, let's talk about the things we liked. You know? Let's talk about the things we liked.
I really appreciated this. I was convicted by this. That was excellent.
Yeah.
My wife's
Let's
better.
put them both together if we're going to do that. You just not just snarl it, crush it.
So it's a filter on life. I've spent a ton of time with John Acuff, on and off mic, a lot of off mic. And like, he is the same off mic as he is on mic. He'll just see stuff. He'll see stuff about this room, this studio.
Yeah, he's great. Great, beautiful mind. Yeah.
He's got a beautiful mind. And like, I'm seeing the same stuff, but I don't see it. But you've seen that for years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I one of my biggest videos, this was probably about the same era that I came on the podcast, maybe 3-4 years ago now.
Yeah.
We were driving through Phoenix on the way home from a show. We have a runner that takes us in the van or whatever from the hotel. And I saw this white Porsche that had sensors on all four corners, big, and then a sensor up top. I go, what is that? And somebody goes, that's a Waymo. It's a driverless.
One of the first Waymos.
Yeah. And I go, what? They go, yeah, it's a driverless car. I go, what? And then there's other people in the car. There's a lot of people in the car, and we've been there all weekend. The driver had obviously seen him because he lives in, and I go, wait, what? And not only did I see it, I asked about it. Then I go, what's the name of it? And I looked it up, and I go, well, I want to take one. And I did. That was my biggest video ever. I go, I'm standing here in a parking lot, and this driverless car is about to come get me. And it did. And I rode it to Whole Foods, and it was like the internet. Now we know about them. But at the time, I go, what's that? That's my whole, and everybody else saw it.
But you turned it into something.
Okay, why is that? Like I drove in here and I go, how could it, what's their mortgage?
I had the same thing. I'm like, we're in middle America, suburbanville.
Yeah.
With a house built in the late 60s or 70s. It's a podcast studio?
Yeah, and whatever, I go, I just need the explanation. I need the explanation, and then it's usually, and I go,
what did you say when you walked in? I think you can say it.
Well, what did I say?
You said, well, clearly you're not paying the mortgage on this thing with a podcast studio, right?
Yeah, I go, well, that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, but you
got the crew laughing.
Yeah, and maybe it'll come off as like if I'm not friends with somebody, like it'll come off as like abrasive or like. But I got questions about how this would work, probably because I want to do it, or like if this is a good model. And I go, well, the SEO. I wonder if you just Google. I would think about that. I go, wait, what?
Today's episode is brought to you by my Art of Leadership Academy. One of the key insights I took away from my recent podcast conversation with Les McCuman is this: if the church can only move at the speed of one leader's insight, a church is always going to be limited by that leader's capacity. I love having great guests on the podcast. Les was one of them. Put it another way, church growth accelerates when leadership is shared. So my Art of Leadership Academy is designed to help you and your team think, decide, and lead at a higher level together. Your whole team is learning the same language when you join. Imagine that you share values. Imagine that your leadership frameworks are actually shared, and you stop relying on one voice because you feel the pressure as a leader, right? And you start building a leadership culture that lasts. That's what can happen when you join the Academy. So here are a couple of simple ways to get started. You could, for example, read an article that we post in the Academy and talk about it together in a staff meeting or a Slack channel. You could download my preaching cheat sheet and bounce sermon ideas off each other and really move to team collaboration when it comes to your weekend services. Or you could sit down and work through a course like The Art of Preaching or Fund the Future and get moving on your future together. So if you want to get started completely free, just go to theartofleadershipacademy.com or click the link in the description of this episode. Remember, don't just grow as a leader, grow as a team. Click the link in the description and you can get started today for free. This episode is brought to you by Switcher Studio. Do you want to take your church's live stream to the next level, especially as you head into Easter? Switcher makes it simple. It lets you grab your iPhones, iPads, cameras, sync them all together, and switch between angles live without expensive, complicated gear. You can add scripture, lyrics, and graphics on screen to help your congregation engage, whether it's a regular Sunday or Easter service with more guests tuning in. And then you can stream to your website and all the major social media platforms at the same time. Plus, Switcher's easy enough for pastors, volunteers, or even students to jump in and run the stream, probably especially students, right? They're sharp. All in all, Switcher helps you empower your volunteers, produce a polished online presence, and grow your community without a big budget. And you can get an additional $5 off at checkout when you use the code CAREY5. So visit switcherstudio.com to learn more. That's switcherstudio.com. No, I think that's how we found this place. We needed a studio in Nashville for a month, and it was the SEO.
And I think it's just everybody thinking, maybe if I get to the bottom, like if you were going, you got a family and if you go, I'm going to go down to Jackson, Mississippi. I'm going to go down there. There's a museum down there that I liked. I'd be like, all right, I buy that. I don't know you, but I buy that. You're like, every weekend he's going to I go, something bad's going on down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would be like, well, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Does that make sense?
But yeah, now you're starting to spin the filter on it and create a story.
Well, that's why everybody loves true crime.
Oh yeah.
Because they go, wait, so the night before the murder, the police chief from 3 towns away texted her? Why? Does that make sense? You go, what? No.
Yeah.
Why would he do that? Why would he do that?
This goes back to your childhood, to your early formation ages. Back to that, because we're going to get in the comments. What happened with those 3 friends with the script? What was that story that you were like, what, 9, 10?
That was when I formally started comedy.
Oh, it was? Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I worked at a church in Colorado. I was probably 20. If I was 20.
You worked at a church?
Yeah, I was like I worked at New Life Church.
Oh, yeah.
Colorado Springs. Yeah. Well, I was there and like on the college ministry. I led a couple of mission trips over to,
this is where Lauren Daigle.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're on a ministry team?
Yeah.
You're on a ministry team? Cool.
We were leading, 300 people going to Africa for the summer, and they were I was on the leadership team, and they were writing a script about like, they're going to make a skit for everybody in there about what not to do.
Okay.
Like, don't play your music loud in the airport. Don't, culturally, and I go, well, and I walked into the meeting, I go, well, he shouldn't say that. He should say, and then what if he was wearing, and then what if he was flirting with all the other girls on the team, and then what if he was, and then they go, well, do you want to do it?
Uh-huh.
And that's how you're
like, hey,
and then I did it, and then the feedback was, at the time I'm 22, all the girls in the youth groups, it was so funny, and I was like, well, I'm doing this for the rest of my life.
That is supposed to be like a dating thing. I haven't dated in years, but if you can make a woman laugh, that's key to a heart.
Is that right?
I've heard.
Yeah. Well, that was it.
So that goes to what? Open mics or?
In 2009, in June 24th, 2009. That was probably, I was probably 22 there. So that was 2 years after the news, leaving the news. And I'm still writing things down.
Right.
But I was in Colorado Springs. There's no, and then 2009. I took an internship in Atlanta, Georgia, where my family lives. And I kept. I didn't tell my parents.
Oh, wow.
I was living with my parents, and every Tuesday I would go to. At first, I just started going to the open mic, and I would just sit in the back, and you watch Chris Rock or Bill Burr, one of the greats. You go, I can never do that, but you go to open mic.
You're like,
I can definitely do that.
I'm better than that guy.
So I was going all summer. Every Tuesday I would go down there, watch, and then after 2 months, I go to the lady that running the door, and I was like, I would like to do it. Then she goes, you want to do stand-up comedy? I go, yeah. She looks at her paper. I never forget this. She looks at her paper. She goes, June 23rd. Got 2 minutes. And didn't give me a contact information. There was no sign up.
June 23rd, 2 minutes.
And if I didn't show up for the 2 minutes, obviously
they would have filled it. They would have filled it. They weren't waiting for you.
They would probably
you'll be here any minute.
They would have probably rather I didn't show up that night. And then I showed up, and I was out of my mind, terrified. Out of my mind, terrified. I was throwing up. I threw up in the urinal. I threw up in the urinal, which is not the. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
No.
And I'll never forget the guy. There's a little the guy said, this black guy. I don't remember who he was. Maybe he's an angel. I don't know. He goes, you nervous? I go, yeah. He could tell I've heard right pay. He'd never seen me before. Also,
you're pale, sweating.
Yeah. He goes, well, think about this. They can't kill you, and they can't put you in jail. No matter what. And I go, huh? Like, oh, what is it so scary? Yeah, the public speaking is the biggest fear of everybody, and then multiply that probably times 20 doing live feedback. And I go, yeah, why am I so scared of this? And it bombed. I didn't get one laugh, and it was horrific.
Didn't get one laugh.
I won.
Wow.
And you know what? Drove home at a silver Honda Civic. And I was driving home on Peachtree Street in downtown Atlanta. I go, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
Even though you bombed.
Bombed.
Do you remember a joke from that first set?
Yeah. I said, I saw a guy walking out of Costco with a pallet of rice and 4 cases of D batteries. What does he know? The worst joke of all, like some impending something.
What does he know?
What does he know that I don't know? Why? You know what I'm saying? Why does he have that? As if I mean, that's very underdeveloped sense of humor at the time. But
so what made you think I'm going to do this for the rest of my life?
And Tim
Hawkins.
Hawkins.
Like a John Mayer song.
Yeah. Tim Hawkins, I talked about that with him. He said that's how you know that you're wildly passionate about something. You could run an event, and the event bombs, but you go, oh, okay, next time we're going to have the, you know what I'm saying, a sermon maybe too. Maybe maybe a musician. Oh, dude, okay, if we write that different, like immediately, I wasn't defeated by it. I wasn't embarrassed by it. I was in the clouds. And then first of all, I think I was so proud of myself that I did it.
Yeah, you should be.
Maybe that. And I go, and then, I mean, this is probably a month later, my family were sitting at dinner. They go, where do you keep, because I was old enough that I didn't have to tell them where I was going. But they were like, where do you keep going? And I finally dropped it on my parents. I will never forget this either. I was sitting at the table where I always sit where I sat as a child, the second seat up from my dad. My dad here, my mom here, my brother here. And I go, I've been going to do stand-up comedy. My dad, if you set my dad down here, he would never forget that either.
How bad?
He will go, what? I mean, I tell people that today with the same amount of enthusiasm.
Yeah. What was the reaction?
I mean, disbelief.
Right. You?
They were like, what? Yeah.
Because were you the kid cracking people up around the house
when
you were younger?
No.
You were?
Very shy, very shy.
Oh.
Now I would be in the back, like if mom and dad would do something that everybody would come to me. They'd be like, look at, same with the,
Yeah. So you're kind of the,
yeah. I was in the back of the whatever, and I would always keep to myself, but I always had thoughts, a lot of thoughts about.
You were shy.
Why? Yeah, but I never would. And I would say that people would not be hard for people to believe, but I'm still like that now. Like my fiance was like, there's this like, we were in Times Square and there's this like kind of karaoke thing. And I go, absolutely not. I don't want to attract anything. I like to do it on my own terms.
Yeah.
And that's when the comedy show and when people have come to see it. But I don't want to go into karaoke. No, I would never. Hey, stand up on the get. I'm still like
I'm
that.
the same way.
I don't want to be in front of anybody.
Interesting.
Ever. Huh. I like to do it on my own terms because I think but I still feel that way.
What was the first time somebody laughed? You're doing stand up. Remember that? Was that a month later?
Well,
a week later?
I remember I was at my aunt's house. My aunt lives in Goshen, Indiana. And I just started doing stand-up, but maybe I wasn't starting it. I don't remember. But I did the kind of like I thought it was so funny. This is back in, 2006 or something. There's this website, all the commercials all the time for Cash for Gold.
Oh, yeah.
You would send, I go, well, what about the postman that picks up a package that's 5 pounds and it's addressed to Cash for Gold? That's his last day on the job. Like he's quitting. Or then what about the postman that picks up the packages? You're sending back cash. So he's going to the Cash for Gold warehouse. You're like, I'm mailed. All has to be cash. And I was like, it's such a silly. And I remember telling this at my family Thanksgiving around the table, and people were undone. They were undone. I was speaking with so much confidence about how this is the silliest thing I've ever heard. The postman pulls up to the house and he's like, well, here's address to Cash for Gold. And
it's true.
Yeah, I go, this is the wild. And then I think there's instances like that I was slowly gaining.
Confidence.
Money or people noticing me in the airport came way, way, way later. But
so back to where you were this summer, the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
How do you get on the Tonight Show? They just like call you up? Like what's
yeah.
It's like Jimmy Fallon going, John, I've been trying to get your number.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. No, you can through your agent or management, you could the interesting thing about comedy is that there's no book. There's actually no anything. And if you want to be a real estate, what do you have to do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. First of all, you got to get this stuff. You got to study this stuff. You're going to take a class. You're going to pass that test. Then you got to get with an agency. And here are all the agencies, and here's how to do it.
This episode is brought to you by Gloo. We all know how fast things move in ministry and how hard it can be to keep up. Well, that's exactly what the Gloo Feed is built for. It's a completely free, regular text that delivers the latest research, trending topics, and updates from across the church. For example, did you see the surprising reversal in which Americans are trending in their commitment to Jesus? It's going up. Or did you catch the fresh insights on where pastors say they don't have enough support in their ministry? Well, you would have if you saw the text from Gloo Feed. This is the best way to stay informed about what matters, when it matters, and you don't have to sift through the noise, right? So if you want all the latest research, updates on AI in the church, access to resources, and a whole lot more, join the Gloo Feed today for free. Here's how to do it. Text my name, Carey, to 46816 to join for free. That's CAREY to 46816. Yeah, there's a path.
There's
no
path to everything.
For comedy. Right.
Pastor, you got to, or you go to seminary.
Oh, yeah, go to seminary.
Yeah, you got to go to, and then you probably start as an associate, maybe youth pastor. There's no anything. And if somebody does say this is the path, they're lying.
Because there's no path.
So you just got to go, how do you start stand-up comedy? You go, well, if you really wanted to, you'd figure it out.
Good point.
And that's exactly what I did. I just looked up comedy, and then I just started going to it. That's all. And I just was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
So I go, where is there another one in this town? There I go.
You would do it if you weren't paid for it. Well, you did it when you were paid for it.
Still would.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. So I guess my agent manager, and I had submitted for the Tonight Show before. I mean, and we go.
So you send him a clip.
Send him a clip. Right. Yeah, and they said, I mean, no. There was I had a couple different. Yeah. And then they goes, hey, we heard back from it's not Jimmy Fallon reviewing. It's
right. It's
heard back. He said they liked it, but there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. This joke needs to go. This angle needs to go. This setup needs to go. Can't talk about these two businesses by name because they're advertisers. We got to switch this. And he goes, but
they like
that. And that sent me down the path. So
you had to submit a couple times.
Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. First of all, my home club is Zany's here in Nashville. Okay. So you can do, I can go there every night, film it, and send it.
Got it.
So we did this before we got approved 50 times.
50
maybe. And he goes, I like it. I just don't like that joke. What would it be like without that joke? I go, I just sent it to you. Just you know what it's like without that joke. I just take that joke out. He goes, I want to see the whole thing again. You want to see the pacing, the rhythm, the setups, and then and I remember because I do 5-6 hours of stand-up on the weekends. And I go, I can't believe every Monday I'm coming back to go down to this comedy club for 5 minutes to practice. And I hated the idea of practicing a rigid set, every word. I wanted to just go up there and freestyle. So my comedy's like that. My comedy's not really fit for the Tonight Show in terms of I just go have an idea.
They're so scripted.
Every word, every second, every look, everything. And so you go, gosh, it's so, and you can't, what I hated about it the most, which is a good strategy to learn, you can't go up and introduce yourself either.
Right.
Yo, what's up? What's going on in Peterborough, the show you came to? Good to be in Canada. We drove in. The gas stations up here are different. We'll introduce. We'll do the.
You'll totally riff off stuff.
We'll do the small talk before we get into the thing I came here to say. It would be disrespectful to just walk in the door and be like. But he said it's in the Tonight Show. You don't have time for.
So it's like a TED Talk. It's like getting a TED Talk. It's like. They work with you for months. Everything's got to be scripted. Yeah. No off script. No ad libbing.
Nothing. No.
Man. So 50 attempts.
I mean, yeah, but I told Lydia, I go, man, if this one doesn't go, I think I gotta. Man, it makes me emotional to say it. I go, if this one doesn't go, I think it's not for me. I don't even know why that makes me emotional to say it. I go,
a dream.
Yeah, and I think I was ready to hey, I got a lot of people that like me in this area, and I'll just Hollywood or whoever has clearly said that they're not interested. I'll just thanks for your time. Yeah, which makes me sad to think. Yeah, I'm sure there's a million books about you were so close to success before you gave up, or there's a bunch of bunch of leaders have come in here. My book failed 16 times, and then the 17th time it was
But you're getting to the point where you were worn down.
Worn down.
Once again, they didn't see it. Once again, they wasn't quite good.
It wasn't. Yeah, and I was like, guys, I don't know what more I can. I mean, I feel like they were just messing with me.
Move the comma.
They were
messing.
What
more do you want?
Either at this point, you think I can do it or you think I can't do it.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like humiliation ritual that I kept. And then I was sitting on the island at my kitchen, and I I didn't see the notification come up because I was doing other stuff. And then I would check my email from my manager said, June 23rd, you got the Tonight Show.
And?
It is, I think it's just, it was, maybe maybe that group had like cast me out, or maybe I thought I was, I don't know. I knew I was a good comedian. I knew I was deserved, but maybe that we don't, maybe I think there's a lot of, he's just a Christian, or I don't do churches anymore, but they're like, oh, he's like he does churches, or it doesn't count. And and you know who told me that? Nobody. I was made up in my own head. I mean, for the most part, nobody cared. Nobody. That's a made up thing I made up anyway.
Right.
And to be like, hey, you are, I don't know, a part of this group, or like you earn this on merit, and this is very hard to achieve. And I had also put in a ton of work, not only on the road for 15 years, but in that set, I put in a tremendous amount of work, and I almost gave up. And it's the wildest part about it. And I wrote about this in my book that I got on TV. I got on Live at Gotham in 2009 or 2000. It's like a Comedy Central show that was it was on like Access TV or something. But I made it to TV.
Exactly.
It's huge for
You're
me.
in the big league.
For me, this is a long time ago. And I was in a very unhealthy place in life, and doing it for likes and doing it for people's attention and for girls. And I'll never forget this. I called my mom and dad and I said, I made it on TV. And I wrote this in my book. I thought my parents were going to be like, let's get a projector, set it up in the backyard. Let's get 700 chairs. Let's invite the neighborhood. I don't know why. Right? Our son made it.
Yeah.
Let's invite everybody. I'm going to get on the phone. I'm going to tell everybody we're going to have a huge party. And then my mother, and we've worked through this since, but my mother said, we don't have that channel. I mean, brother.
John.
You know what I'm saying? And these are, again, things I made up in my head, or like, we don't have that channel. And it was devastating. Just so a debilitating of a feeling to call. And my parents, I love them. And they just were, at the time, they had no context of how hard it would be to get to
even get on
they didn't
TV.
know what that meant. And now I get the Tonight Show, and
I go, NBC.
Well, they have NBC. Yeah, they have NBC. Funny. Okay, it's a network. You don't not have NBC.
You got NBC.
That they go. I mean, that's what, 10 years later, maybe, and it was for everyone and no one. In a way that, like, I did this for myself, and I'm proud, and I'm going to tell, by the way, everybody, and whatever their response is, that's okay. And I pulled over. I was on the way home right here in Franklin. Pulled over from the golf course, FaceTimed my down the same road, really. Yeah. FaceTimed my parents, and my dad was taking a nap, and I go, "Can you go wake Dad up?" And I told my parents, and they were so happy and so thrilled. And I've done a lot of therapy. Obviously, I've been to rehab, and I go, like, I know that they said when you make amends to somebody from your past, that whatever they say is irrelevant. You need to make this amends for you. So if you say, hey, I mistreated you 10 years ago, I'm so sorry. If hopefully person goes, I received that. I thank you for saying that, and you're forgiven, and I love you, and let's be friends. But they could say, I don't accept that. I'm still hurt by what you said, and I don't accept your apology. And I'm actually pissed that you called.
Yep.
They are allowed to do that too.
But you did your part.
You did. You have to do it for you, but for you.
Yeah.
I hope that my parents would. And by the way, everybody. I told so many people. I just said, I go, dude, I got the Tonight Show, and everybody was like, dude, I'm so honored that you would call me before I just saw it.
Yeah.
On Instagram, or I saw it. They go, I just want to let you know that, I mean, Dustin Nickerson, Aaron Weber, my old managers, Mason, my old tour manager, that we've been in the slumming it.
Yeah,
and I go, dude,
the bad hotels.
And I go, dude, I just made it on the Tonight Show. And they were thrilled, brother.
You know, that is one of the things that's so important. I've got a few friends too that if something good happens, because you don't want to come off as flexing or bragging, but if I land a particular guest or something happens in my life that to me is a jump up and down moment, which doesn't happen a lot. Yep. It is so great to have those friends who are like, we are high-fiving with you, and who get it, who know what that means. Because most people are like, oh, you're on the Tonight Show. That's awesome. I don't even know how that works, blah, blah, blah.
Or that's it. And they're like,
they give you 8 minutes.
How much?
I texted you when I saw it, and I'm like, I am so proud of you, because I know how hard you fought.
Thank you, brother.
I know how hard you fought. I know clawing back over the last 6 years. I was just so delighted. I also know that is the Super Bowl. I know enough. I'm not a comedian, but I know enough to know that is not, what do I say sometimes, when my kids, they got into this really good, my oldest into an engineering school, and I was really proud of him. And, he gets intimidated. He's like, Dad, everybody's smart. I'm like, hey, man, this was not an act of charity.
Yeah, it's not charity.
Like, they did not let you in. Jimmy Fallon didn't feel sorry for you.
No.
And say like, all right, come on here. And
fine, he's worked hard enough.
He's worked hard enough. No, dude, like that is really seriously amazing.
I think the to his credit, I first heard about that from John Acuff. He talked about he talked about a thing called the brag table, and he would say
I think I've heard John
permission to approach the brag table. He would do in a way that
that's a great phrase.
You're like, yeah, what? And there are people that were I try to do my best. I mean, when people would call me and tell me that they got good, then you go, yeah, dude, let's go to dinner. Exactly. Or else, what are we doing here?
Right, because you'll reach out to those people when you're at the bottom.
Yeah.
When you're like, guess what? We just broke up. Guess what? This isn't working. Guess what? Like,
I got a call. 5 months ago, maybe 6, from someone very, very close to me, and said, hey, we just lost a baby. And it was like one of my best friends, obviously. And you go, yeah, it was sad. And we sat together for, and they've come through it, obviously. But we go, after I told my fiance this, after a couple weeks, I go, you know what? I was honored to get that call. And there's some other people very, very close to us that he told me he didn't call. And you would think to yourself, so that guy who's in the darkest point of his life to this point, and he goes, I bet John could sit with this. Which is, I don't think there's any higher mark of a friendship. There you go. And when I got to Tonight Show, that was after that, and Lydia said, you should go to his house and tell him. You should tell him in person.
Wow.
And I did.
You did?
Yeah. And he was equally as thrilled for me.
Overjoyed.
Yes,
As you were sad
obviously,
for him.
dude. Yeah, because you go, some people you're going to FaceTime. Somebody like, dude, I got to tell you this in person because I want to be there to celebrate or in pain. Because otherwise, now if you get a let's see, a small like promotion at work or something like that, you get a 3-4% increase. You were like, you want to tell we don't need to have a party for this, but you're like, you should be like, man, that's awesome. Get the waiter to put a candle in this thing and let's celebrate.
And bring it over.
Just let's like, otherwise, what are we doing here? What are we doing on Earth?
I think there's so many people watching this who either don't have a friend that they could share a high with, or wouldn't do it because they're afraid. I love Acuff's framing of the brag table.
I think
you need to have. I got 2 guys, 3 guys, easy. Probably could expand that circle to 4 or 5.
Yeah,
that I would be like, can I tell you some really great news?
And if
this is incredible.
And if you like, I had a buddy the other day. He goes, my like daughter is we went out of town for the soccer thing and she scored 4 goals. And hey, here's a video of my daughter going through traffic and scoring a goal. How, I don't even have children, but how sad for someone to put that out and to be like, just put a heart on it. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
And you go, man, I thought I was being so like that. You're vulnerable in success and failure. Then you go, dude, my daughter we were all the way down there. And I go, dude, tell me about the other team. Tell me about, dude, so what ages were this? So she just made that. How did she make that team? And how did she look at how the way tell
me about the play. Yeah. What was it like after? How did she feel?
Like, I care. I really care. And I can't do that for everybody. Obviously, neither can you. But you're like,
you need a handful. You need a small circle.
Hey,
that you can do that.
She just her video just went viral. Or whatever. Or you just bought a house.
Yeah.
Or we just got it's silly. It's commercial, but you're like, you just got a new car. Let me see it.
Can I drive in it?
Let me look at it. I just want to sit in it. Oh, dude, tell me about and you're not being disingenuous, but you're like,
no.
Well, what are we doing if we're not doing that to your close friends? And they can't. I'm telling you, just like my parents, you go to that well, and it is dry. You will not keep coming back to it. With celebration or pain, by the way.
So I want to get back to Tonight Show in a bit, but I was going to ask you about this because listening to your show and just seeing you, there's a gratitude in you. And I also see a heart in you. It's a rare thing because I know a few comedians. I don't know a lot of them. The rumor is, pretty unhappy life, that kind of thing. Yeah. There's a capacity for friendship in you. And if you're going to call the whole thing, you're sitting there criticizing, arms crossed, like, I know what's really going on there. And yet I see a joy in you. You're in love. You're so far from where you were 6 years ago. It's really cool. First of all, John, way to go.
Thank you.
Secondly,
thank you.
That's a really cool tension because it's easy to be the cynic who's just shut down on everything. I don't know if there's anything to talk about there. I wanted to note it, but there is that joy. I see the relational capacity, and you got the busiest schedule of anybody I know. I look at your tour dates. You're on the Tonight Show, and then you're in some place in Louisiana that nobody's ever heard of, doing a show. Right?
I mean, I thought I wasn't. This is another thing that I made up in my head, but I was when I was in rehab, and I go, man, this is BS. I don't deserve to be here. I've been mistreated. People made up lies about me, whatever. Some of it was true, some of it wasn't. And then she go, what? It's this little Peruvian lady in Wickenburg, Arizona, sitting in this like shed of a therapy room. She goes, "That's kind of narcissistic that you think you deserved all that." Why did you deserve to not, speaking of gratitude, why do you deserve all that money, all that success, you didn't deserve any of this. You don't deserve any of this, and neither does anybody. None of us do. You don't even deserve to have the internet. You got a street that I could drive down here on a road. I didn't have to hack my way through the woods. That's unbelievable. She's like, you didn't deserve any of this. Why do you think you're so, who are you that you deserve this lifestyle that nobody else? And I go, oh, and then I think I was left for, I think I walked out of that place and I go, well, I'm playing with house money now. I should be dead. I'm playing with house money. Anything that happens now is water under the bridge. Like, I can't believe I'm still alive in any kind. And there's the challenges we face daily are immense. I would everybody just a monster of challenges, whether it's in terms of ticket sales or rising costs or the economy or the podcast deal gets struck. We make a new deal. The Facebook monetization they cut it. Employees, HR, bus. And I go, we don't have to do any of it. And I go, hey, you know what we do for a living? Tell jokes. And there's 2,000 people in Hattiesburg tonight here to see us say the things that we just made up in our minds. We're doing great. And you go, oh, there's 30 seats in the top that aren't full. I used to be like, and now I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Was it you? It might not have been. I was listening to a bunch of pods recently. I think this might have been rehab or part of a therapy where you had to write gratitude lessons every day.
Yeah, every day.
You had to write something different every. Was that you?
Me. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that, because I thought I had to do that for 30 days because it's mind-bending.
Well, everybody talks about a gratitude list. I think that's a very common.
Yeah, gratitude
like,
list.
Oh,
I was grateful for my wife, my kids.
First off,
house.
that would be the first thing.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to have a place to live. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful and then you go, well, I'm grateful for my legs. And you go, I'm grateful for the idea that I can get up and make food. I'm grateful for air conditioning. I'm grateful for, if I do want to come down here and see you, I have the means to do that. I'm grateful for air travel. I'm grateful for FaceTime. And you're like, all these things that are just, and then it does, I remember we were all so sad one day in rehab. Everybody is coming there from burning their life to the ground in some way or another. And I remember it was like, maybe it was like gloomy, it was like overcast, and the therapist could kind of tell that the mood around here was just so low. And they go, I want everybody, I still have this in my house. They go, I want everybody to write 100 goals for yourself from upon leaving here, 100. And it could be as easy as, I want to sink my teeth into a Chick-fil-A sandwich again. Right.
Yeah,
I want to
waffle fries for the win.
I want to have a birdie on the golf course. I want to see my nephew again. And then they go smallest to largest. I want to be on the Tonight Show. I bet that was probably on there. I want to have I want to get married. I want to, all those things. Write them all, smallest to largest, 100 things that you would like to do. And I'm telling you, we all did it. And then we all started talking, give us 5, or we all started talking. And then she goes, look at the mood around here. And everybody was stoked. Does that make sense?
It
We didn't
does.
know what she was doing.
It does.
But she was doing an exercise, and we go, dude, and when I get out of here, oh man. So my nephew, he has this outfit that he likes to wear, and we throw the football, and everybody was like, and she goes, look what just happened.
That's awesome. No, I've seen
Same with the
that
gratitude.
in you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've
same,
seen
it's
that
the same
with you.
exercise.
And it's a good test. You know, I'm having one of those. Yeah, we got a few stresses here and there and production
immense,
challenges, but it's like,
course.
how did this? I get to sit down with John Crist.
Oh,
how did this become my life?
I'm at 10 a.m. I could come down here and and also if we didn't want to do it, I didn't have to do it.
Exactly.
And you go, what? Your complaints are what? Right?
Yeah.
And I got to go over like my fiance's cat is like going, she's going out of town for the weekend. She's like, can you go get my cat at my house and bring it over to your house so they can be there for the weekend? I go, yeah, dude. Yeah, yes. Versus the same day, oh, I got to go down to do Carey's bag, and then I got to go over to get the cat, and then and if it's the same. If they like in promises and rehab, they're like, dude, is your life going to get better? They're like, maybe not, maybe. We can't promise you that you're going to have a career again, or that you're going to be sober, which I am, by the way. But we can't promise you all these things. Maybe, but also I feel like it's very easy to forgive, or maybe the story of my past is what if I didn't overcome it? What if I never got a chance to do stand-up again? Or let's put it in an athlete's terms, where they're a 5-star recruit in high school, and a kid comes around the edge and takes out his ACL, and he never gets to play again. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really. Now, fortunately, I was able to, with the help of God and my family, and to kind of right the ship, I guess, and be bigger than I was before. But that's not the case for everybody. So they were like, we're not promising you, we're not in here saying if you get sober or if you change your habits that you are gonna, but it is gonna, you can't, it's like.
But you see it as a gift, not an entitlement.
No, dude. And I'll be trying to talk to every person. I can't say hi to everybody, and I don't go out. I probably go out in public less than I would normally. But anybody comes to the airport, my whole crew is like, he's talking again I go, dude, I wish I say this in sincerity. I said this on my show. I wish I could come to everybody's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
In here.
Yeah.
I wish I could come to everybody's family and be like, oh, dude, so this your uncle that believes in the conspiracy theories, and then your nephew that's trying to be like, and I want to hear about who the mom is saying passive aggressive things, and I'm like, dude, this is, and your people say about how my jokes, they tell them in the group chat, and when we got married, it was because of and I was like, dude, awesome.
I heard Muhammad Ali once. I think Cal Fussman told this story, but Muhammad Ali in his older years, Fussman was following him around, and this woman stopped. I think her name was Linda. And I was like, are you Muhammad Ali? And he's like, yes, I am. Wonderful to meet you. What is your name? She goes, can I get a picture? And this was like pre-camera phones. So she had like a camera, and he's like, takes this picture with her and then says, can I see it? I just want to make sure it's right. Checks to make sure, scrolls through, he says, let's do another one, gets another one. That's great. Anything else I can do for you? No, great. And then moves on. And Fussman says to Muhammad Ali, that's crazy. Do you do that with everybody? No. And he said, you know what? For me, that's number, 172,000 or whatever. But he said for her, it's one. I thought that is so important. You can't do it for everybody, but if you get stopped in the airport,
one.
You just do it for one if you can. If you can take that 30 seconds or that whatever.
And I have been. I mean, there's certainly artists, music artists. I would put a lot of music artists in there. I would put a lot of authors in there. I put a lot of, as silly as it sounds, I would put a lot of professional athletes in there. That you go. There's a guy in rehab. Colin McHugh is a pitcher for the Braves. He used to play for the Houston Astros. and there's a guy in rehab, it's Houston Astros. And I go, I'm friends with Colin McHugh. And he goes, man, can you tell him that, this sounds silly to say. Can you tell him when my wife was going through chemo and I would sit down and watch those Astros games and I love watching that guy pitch. Can you tell him that? And that's not even, we think maybe with what we do, we have some kind of spiritual, that's just a guy throwing a baseball.
Yep.
And imagine how much of a bummer it would be if you saw Colin McHugh and told him that, and he'd be like,
yeah,
devastating. And that's devastating. And you go, man, me and my wife met each other because we shared my videos. I just want to introduce you to her. And by the way, this is our baby. Dude, how
did this happen?
And how sad would it be that and by the way, prior to 2019, that was me, that I was so in my own head that I couldn't extend enough gratitude for that. That you go, I need to get to my car. I got to get to the valet. I got to get to the thing to go to the thing because I need to do the thing. Because if I don't do the thing, then we're late for the thing. Then whatever.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. I'll tell you, this is good stuff. I want to go back to the Tonight Show. So you get it.
Yeah.
You get that email sitting at your kitchen counter. You hear from your agent. Your reaction is 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10.
Yeah.
What's the prep like? What happens when you go to New York?
Well, there's another 50 times of the set after that. But when you get it, now you got a guy that's one-on-one with you for every joke, every punchline, everything.
Really? So there were, and how long was your bit? You were given
4.5 minutes.
4.5 minutes. So you got a guy walking through.
Now he goes, all right, now again, I'm going on like, I still was going, but now I had it. Now I was just making sure it was going to be lights out. And there's a lot of stuff that was actually very helpful revisions. Switch every word that does not contribute to the punchline, get it out.
Wow.
If it doesn't add to it, if it's a detail that we're like, all right, so I came down to see you today and I like turned left on Franklin Pike instead of going down the interstate. Like, get that out. Unless that's necessary for the punchline, get it out. So you tighten it all the way down. And in every word, and by the way, he goes, you time your walk up, that when you wave, introduce yourself, all these type of, that you just go, and I talked to a bunch of other comics that did it, because now I have it.
Yeah.
So like, tell me, Nate Bargatze, Dusty Slay, Aaron Weber.
So they're walking you through
Tell me about what your experience is, and then you got to go the night before to New York City and do it 5 times at the Comedy Cellar, which is the biggest club in I think, one of the best comedy clubs in the world. You got to go with the booker. Meet me at the Comedy Cellar. We're going to run it 5 times live together.
Wow. So the Tonight Show people who are on the next night are almost always there?
Always. Yeah, always.
Interesting.
Always. To run it. Now you're running it in person. And let me tell you, brother, I don't know if there's a leadership lesson here. It bombed 5 times.
Really?
I'm telling you, brother, bombed. And
nobody's laughing.
No, they're laughing.
Okay.
But I get off the stage and the booker goes, perfect. He goes, this crowd is, we're just looking we're timing setups. We're not, like, because everybody, it's almost impossible, because the guy goes, you ever date a girl from Astoria, but you live on the 3 train in Queens? And you're like, it's just murdering. This is in Brooklyn at night. You're like, my first line is, big news for me, guys. My girlfriend just added me to her family group chat. And I can't start and say, what's up? I'm from out of town. I'm practicing my Tonight Show set. None of that. You just got to go up there and do it. It's jarring. But Dusty Slay goes, the hardest thing about the Tonight Show is bombing 5 times the night before. So I knew.
You knew this was going to happen. Yep. You knew. But is there a part of you that's going, I know how to make this better. I know how to make this better. No, let me have some creative control
and he
here.
was saying, we kind of working with each other. Because he goes, do this, and this. Also, just be yourself. You're like, all right, well, I can't.
Oh, I'm not myself anymore. 50 revisions
I
in.
both of these. And he said, I remember he said, there's a joke about the algorithms they put. I got a Shakira video on my algorithm is one of the jokes. And my fiance's asking, why do you have a Shakira video on your phone? I was like, maybe it's because I was at a Mexican restaurant. And I heard, and my phone heard a Shakira song or something like that.
Right.
And then the next joke is, I ordered some Colombian coffee the other day. She's Colombian. Maybe the algorithm put that together. It's silly. So one of the last revision I did is I took that Colombian joke because it was bombing. It was bombing. And he runs up to me after and he goes, you got to put that, what happened to the Shakira Colombian joke? I go, I took it out. I feel like it was just bombing. And he goes, you have to keep that in. I go, why? He goes, well, first of all, Shakira's a friend of the Tonight Show. And he goes,
we know Shakira.
He goes, we know Shakira.
We know
but
Shakira.
Also, he said, if you saying Shakira's Mexican, you at a Mexican restaurant, this joke comes off very racist if you don't know she's Colombian. So I was at a Mexican restaurant. That's like grouping all Latinos together. I was at a Mexican restaurant and they heard her song. That comes off as racist without my knowledge of her being Colombian. Because I thought, this is what you go back and forth with 1,000 times. Why don't you say, I know she's not Mexican. Why don't you say, I was at a Latino restaurant? No one says that.
No.
They say
Mexican, and there's no Colombian restaurant. I mean,
no, there's
maybe there's some
or
there.
If I was at a Colombian restaurant, the crowd would be subconsciously like, what?
Exactly.
What does that have to do with it?
You've thrown them off the scent.
Yeah, so it's these type of things that you have to go over 1,000 times. You go, the Colombian coffee joke doesn't hit as hard, but without that joke, you seem, and this is
you've just teed off.
This kind of becomes offensive, or like Americans think everybody south of us is all together, and I go, it's a great note, and I keep it.
So you get up there. I watched your set a couple of times. It looked like you, even though it had been revised 57,000 times.
Yeah.
How do you stay? Because, I mean, when you do your stand-up, you can do whatever you want, right? You work for yourself. If, it didn't work that night, it didn't work, you just fix it. And I'm sure you've got your team advising you. But now you're in this straitjacket, right?
Yeah.
Where all you've got is, I got to turn this way, I got to wave this way, I got to say this, I got to pause here. I've got 4 minutes and 28 seconds, not 29, not 27, blah, blah, blah. You got to hit all these markers. And yet it seemed like a very recognizable John Crist. So what is going on inside you when you're doing that? Because there's a lot of communicators watching this who are like, oh, if I did that, I'd be like, hello. Like, you wouldn't be
John
me.
Out the window, whatever y'all need. Yeah.
How did you do that?
Well, I was obviously terrified, but right before they introduced me. And
what's going on
terrified,
in there?
standing back.
Almost like back to your first stand-up.
And Jimmy Fallon, everybody asked, how is he? How is he like the guy? I go, yeah, he's that and even more. And he did me the biggest favor when it was in commercial break. He goes, all right, everybody, we got a guy is making his debut at the Tonight Show. And I want you guys to be so kind to him. And he goes, my fiance, my tour manager, and my director of operations were there with me. And he goes, all three of his friends are here, and three of his friends are in the back. Make him look cool to them, which is such like an extension of generosity that he did not have to do. And I think he's obviously a professional, but he loves comedy, by the way. Yeah, loves comedy. He goes, I'm going to do everything I can in this commercial break to get these people.
So you're playing to the home crowd all of a sudden. So
now everybody's like, we love this guy. Yeah. Anything we can do. And I walk out, obviously terrified. My first reaction is from the crowd that I need is actually, I just got invited to my girlfriend's family group chat. It's an applause. It's not a laugh.
It's an applause, which is not as good, right?
It's no applause after a laugh is an applause break but I'm not asking for a laugh here. I'm just asking for a engage. So I was still nervous because it was just, but then I said, whatever the first punchline is, just boom. And I was like, oh, God.
I know how to do this.
I've done, and I was so annoyed with the preparation, but now I go, I mean, there's so many things that were like, walk 3 steps, look to your right, say hi to Jimmy. Walk 3 steps, look to your left, acknowledge the roots. Walk up to this, there's a clover on the ground there, stand right there, deliver the punchline, deliver the setup to the crowd here, set up to the crowd here, punchline to the camera. Set up, punchline. And then here's the clock, here's the script. And I go, I've done this 1,000 times. I've done this 1,000 times. It could not go. It's almost next to near impossible that this could go wrong.
Had they put you on that stage numerous times to rehearse it with the cameers and everything like that? No,
we did a sound check before the crowd is in there. That you just so you know where the markers are and where to look and everything. There's almost. And I somebody goes, because I talk a lot to the crowd in my show, like in a live show. There's a lot of interaction with the crowd. So I go, one of the setups of the joke goes, my girlfriend's friend got a DUI and she lost her job. And somebody in the crowd goes, ooh. And like, no one ever, this is in the deep dive into stand-up comedy. No one ever has gone into the crowd on the Tonight Show on their debut.
Right.
And I go, okay, well, hold on a second. That's not. And I acknowledged the person in the crowd. And then I did another joke and I go, okay, all right, that lady's throwing me off a little bit. And I got a bigger laugh. So what are you saying? It was me. You go, yeah, this is what he does. And then Jimmy, when I got up sat on the couch, he goes, I can't believe you, that's what they call it in comedy, went into the crowd. No one has ever gone into the crowd on a debut of the Tonight Show. But that's what I do. Yeah. And I got into the crowd.
So he was a bit in awe of that.
He got into the crowd and right back out because you got to still close at the right amount of time. So you're like, if I go in here, I can't.
Yeah, you can't add to your time.
No, it's got to go. I got to go right. That's throwing me off a little bit. And everybody thought it was such a funny moment of this is really. I couldn't have prepped that.
Yeah.
So that made it even better. And it was just unbelievable.
And so afterwards, what's it feel like?
And I told my back to how he's open to this podcast and me going, I was walking. I go, I just need some time so I told my fiance, I go, I just need to go walk around. I just need to go walk around. And I was walking through New York City, by the way. Trash, smells, sounds, horns, people, bike lanes, moving, yelling at you, get off the street. And I was like, I wanted to give everybody $100. Does that make sense? The opposite of
it does. It's
I go, everybody's doing great. I want to thank everybody. I'm so happy with life. I'm not annoyed. Like, hey, you got to pull up and park in the parking lane and people can't get around you. Nah.
Big deal.
Hey, bro, I might miss my flight. Nah. I might. Nah. Whatever it possibly was. Somebody calls me. It was we were like in the clouds, dude.
Has your set changed since the Tonight Show and all of those revisions and all of that editing? Like, did you take a lesson away from that as to how you do your sets now?
Yeah. Well, it was a good. It's like if you go, you're preaching at your church, and then you're going to a black church, and you're like, wow, okay, and then you come back different, or any kind of church that's not yours. You come back to you're like, I got a different perspective now. I got a different worldview now. That you are way more confident that you're like, I deserve to be here. I know that this is good. I know that there's been validation from the outside that the ideas that I have are, I mean, it went huge on Jimmy's socials.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, they were very well for me. They were thrilled with it. We're looking at going back here pretty soon, also, which is like
awesome. Wasn't Brigette's Seinfeld was on a lot,
hundreds of times.
Yeah, and Nate was on a lot.
Not hundreds of times, but he's been on as many times as you want. Now Nate can just call Jimmy like, I got a funny idea, and he goes, you don't have to rehearse, you don't have to practice.
You can just come back. You can just come back.
Actually, you know what's for comics is you want to go straight to panel, so you just go to the couch.
Oh yeah, you don't have to do your set
now. So Nate now would just go to the couch.
Is that still a thing where you may or may not get invited to the couch? That was a big thing in Johnny Carson's day.
Less. It's more now. It's based on commercial breaks and time.
Okay.
So if they go, hey, he'll sometimes come right down there and be like, this John Crist, that's our show. Seth Meyers is next. Sometimes to invite you back. You go to a commercial break, you talk there, and then you're sitting on the couch, which is what happened to me. And then he says, that's our show. And then you get another little segment there. Yeah.
So you're going back.
Well,
probably.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll maybe have to run it 25 times, maybe not.
Exactly. John, I'll tell you, I'm just so excited for you. You're getting married.
And I get married.
That's cool, man.
Which is, I would put that, obviously, I the same feeling when I posed that I can't believe we did it. And I don't have any kids. We're not even married yet, but you go.
Yeah, so your marriage book is coming out soon.
Yeah. No, we're already writing it. Yeah. That's funny.
Writing it right now.
I like to imagine you have couples that have been married for 30 years. So somebody's been, tell us. Yeah. What's
35. It's good.
That you go, I can't believe that from where I came from to, it's like somebody told me that it would be like, I don't know him, but this is maybe it's an unfair comparison, but like Steph Curry, the documentary is not going to be that compelling because he was always successful. His dad was an unbelievable shooter. He was an unbelievable shooter, got drafted, was an unbelievable shooter. Like, it's the documentary, Michael Jordan. You go, got cut from the team, tried another way. High school was other people were drafted ahead of him in the NBA. Had first of all the things that came for those first 3 championships. Then dad passed away. Went to play baseball, lost, confused. Then comes back, wins 3 more. It's like that documentary.
So powerful.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Like, well, why everybody? A lot of people get married. It's an unbelievable. Like, why was it so? I mean, all of my family was there to celebrate my engagement. I'm not even married yet, but like, why was it so important? John got engaged. Like, no. You guys do not understand. Does that make sense? You're like, this story is anybody that's followed me for any amount of time. You're like overcome it is like I don't know if I love that word for it, but like could have thrown in the towel
on a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't want to make it be like somebody that was just trying to hold me accountable for things I shouldn't be doing is evil. Does that make sense? Or like I don't want to be like all I would say overcome it for myself. All the decisions were of my own making and my own. If I burn it to the ground,
you were really clear.
I did it myself. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? To find love, I remember when we did our first interview 2 years ago, you had said to me on the way out, I'm dating someone now, and I wonder if she's the one.
I didn't say it. I didn't say that.
Yeah. I think you had just met Liz.
Yeah.
And I was like kind of cheering for you and like, oh, that would be awesome. And here we are. So,
Well, it is.
and you'll get to make fun of the wedding industrial complex at some time.
The wedding industrial complex is hilarious.
It's like how to drain your bank account.
I think it
two
is.
easy steps.
I think it is. I felt, and I don't know why. It's the same with at the beginning. You get ideas in your head, like no, but everybody was like that are not true. That I thought I was gonna feel like I'm a man and I'm a leader, and this is what I'm doing with my life, to bend a knee and to be on one knee asking a woman to marry you. I thought I would feel like a beta man, that I was a wuss or like a loser or like, oh. And I felt the exact opposite. I never felt more confident in myself, proud of myself, almost like in a, hey, this is where I believe in myself and this is our relationship and I would like to. And he was like, dude, I feel like everybody else was like, yeah, dude, we've thought this about you. We're waiting for you to feel that way about yourself, like a leader. And it's like a man that could, like the proudest, being on one knees, maybe like in a servant, not begging, but like you used to be on your knees in front of somebody. It's
it's an act of submission.
Yes. And I felt like I would feel like, I don't know if I want to post a photo of me like on a knee. That's like embarrassing. And I felt the opposite. And I could see now why everybody is like, this is the way. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like you can't tell somebody if the person's not right for them, you can't say get married no matter what, because it could end badly. But if you choose that you want to do this, all the other people that are on the team, they're like, yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
This is the best way.
I was 24.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was 24 when I proposed to my wife, and, got a 35-year marriage, which is at its peak, which is great. But lots is talking to Pat Lencioni this week. It's like, if you've been married that long, there's ups and downs and all that stuff. But I don't think I had an appreciation for what a powerful, awful in the sense of AWEFUL, right? Like awe-filled moment that really,
good way to say
really was. And I think I have a greater appreciation of that now than I did. And
it is so very significant. I mean, it's also silly that we got to get the, all the stuff that we got to get, but it is such a,
you got to rent auditoriums.
Yeah, all that stuff is silly. We'd all agree with that, but it also isn't. It's also the most
right.
And you can't. I see now why. It is an unbelievable. Yeah, it's an unbelievable challenge. Obviously, that it'll be, but everybody's like, yeah, this is the way. But you can't say that before. And I'm sure once you have a child, everybody with kids is like, yeah, now you get it.
Yep. Welcome to the club.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now
and I would say you don't understand parenting until you become a parent.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to push you to the limit. It's going to be amazing.
Yep.
And it's going to be the greatest reward.
And everybody on this journey is like, well, there's comedians that in their 20s were talking to like college kids about like, I would say immature topics. And then now those comics never kind of grew in life. They're still single, but now and he goes, why aren't these jokes working anymore? It's like, well, the people you're talking to, they got mortgages now. Does that make sense?
You've matured. Your comedy is matured.
It started, like you said, it started youth groups and maybe funny foibles of the church or whatever. And then it's like, oh, well, this guy, once you write a significant check to the government, you're like, well, I'm involved in this now. Mm-hmm. I'm involved in I'm involved in the country.
Yeah.
And I got unions that we have to pay, and that we like all these things. You're like, well, I'm this is what I deal with now. I didn't deal with this before.
Yeah.
And it's the same with a pastor, by the way. You're like,
Yeah.
well, now, I mean, I make jokes about like, dude, we got to hit these kids. And like, I'm sure in 3 years, if I have kids, they would be like, I'm not regret it, but you're like,
You might change the joke a little bit.
You might, you'd have a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you like Nate, I think Nate Bargatze is a guy that's gone ahead of us in a lot of ways, paved a lot of ground for us, especially I would say as clean comics or maybe family friendly comics that you go, well, he lived in New York and he was dating when he started. Then he moved to Nashville. Then he got married. Then he had a kid. Now his parents are aging. You're like, yeah, all the fans kept with him because all your fans are changing.
Yeah.
So you can't, you're like, well, this is what I started preaching about. This is what they like. Or like, well, they're changing. So you should also be like our podcast 2 years ago. I bet I'd go back and listen to it. We're like, not that I disagree with it or not that it's.
Yeah, but that's where that was a time stamp.
It's not contradictory to what I am now. But you go, yeah, I would probably
rephrase that.
I would probably emphasize that less, and I would probably like to talk about this more. And by the way, in 2 years, hopefully we do it again.
Yeah,
it'd be the same. Like I've been on the Tonight Show 20 times, and it's
that would be awesome.
And it was so moving now to talk about the journey and get married. And I'm sure we'll have different things to talk about. Yeah.
John, can't thank you enough. I didn't get to any of my questions. So just thanks for this. And I'm loving your podcast these days. You're having a lot of fun with it. Are you enjoying it? I don't know how you get it all done.
Love it.
You're on are you back in Nashville every few days or so?
Monday. We usually do it in Nashville. Monday. Yeah. See it is, I would say to you, that was the first coming after my cancellation or what. That was the first of anything Christian that I did. I didn't do anybody's. I'm going to do, listen, if you're with me, you're with me. If you're not, you're not. I'm going this way. And I feel like it's very hurt by because I like a lot of comics like, oh, I got to go do a church. I love the people of the church. My dad was a pastor. I grew up, I would stay at church all day. Almost like, I don't compare myself to Jesus, but he would just stay at the temple. He just liked it. I was Sunday afternoon, we had church Sunday morning and church Sunday night. Me and my brothers always asked if we could stay there. We just stay at church all day. And I love to, every time I get with a pastor, I love to talk about church. I like to go to church, see what they're doing there. Why are they doing this? How are they doing this? How are the good churches doing it? How are the bad churches? Why are they failing? I love to talk about it. And I go, man, I went to, this definitely happened between then and now. Winter Jam is like the biggest Christian tour.
Okay.
It's like a Christian music tour.
Yeah.
I did it in 2018. It was in NBA arenas all over the country.
Wow.
It was huge, awesome. And I was like kind of the next generation of Christianity or whatever, and everybody. Sure. It was huge. That's what put me on the map.
7 years ago.
That put me on the map. And I go, and I've never just, I think all those people hate me. I think they all are embarrassed of me. Maybe I embarrass the faith. Maybe they all think I'm I don't know what they think of me. And last year, we had a show in Indianapolis. Winter Jam was also in Indianapolis. And the director of it goes, hey, you want to come over and say hi to everybody? I go, yeah, I don't know if they know who I am or if they, and they go, Skillet is the band.
Skillet. Oh gosh.
Skillet and they were friends of mine.
Uh-huh.
And John Cooper from Skillet, he goes, do you want to introduce us? You know, this is where the Pacers play. This is 18,000 people. He goes, do you introduce us? I go, would they, I don't know, do you think that's a good idea? Would they, how do they might boo me or do they know who I am?
That's true.
And he goes, yeah, to give it a shot. And I go, there's a video or something like that. And then somebody's like, we got a guest here. He's going to come introduce, introduce the closing band, ladies and gentlemen, John Crist. And it was a standing ovation.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited for you.
Man, that was, I think they probably, the Christians or the faith community, what's wild is it always felt that way about me.
I remember.
They didn't, whatever I made up in my head about like, I'm a loser, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And they go,
make up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's been a theme. But you know, when we met on the outskirts of Peterborough, Ontario, shout out to the church that lent us, we set up the stools, camera crew was there.
First time in a church too.
It was, I remember you saying that. You were kind of like, you walked in and you were like, it's my first time in a church and first Christian podcast. I don't do Christian podcasts, but I'm going to do yours. You said it to me. And I just want to thank you, and I hope as Christians that we have the capacity to not forgive. I didn't need to forgive you for anything, but to be open-minded. Yeah. To, our problem, I said this to Henry Cloud in a couple of interviews that we've done with Henry. He wrote a great book on trust, and the last 30% of it is basically about restoration. And I don't know if you've read that part. If you read it, you probably went through all the steps. And I mean, there's 42 of them. It's worse than getting on the Tonight Show. You gotta do a lot. Well, And our problem is we scapegoat people like, oh, you're banished to the wilderness until you die. Or you set up across town or across the street the next day and you're like, I'm back. You did the hard work. You did the hard work. And you can hear it. You can hear it even in our conversation today. That you're not the same John Crist that disappeared in 2018.
And there was a music artist, a big music artist in Christianity that experienced the same thing about this year, definitely. And I went to lunch with him like a couple of weeks ago, and somebody goes, well, what? I mean, this person's just getting crushed on Twitter, just getting crushed. And somebody goes, my fiance actually goes, what if we're going to like a breakfast spot here in town? What if somebody sees you with him? I go, I'll be proud. I go, put it up. Take a photo and put it up. Because I go, well, what's his like? Yeah, I understand somebody made some poor choices and they should definitely be held accountable for that. But what's your plan for him? What's he supposed to do? There has to your point, restoration, there has to be, Sarah Silverman said this, not even a Christian. She's an atheist. I don't know if she's an atheist, but she's definitely not in favor of Christ. But she goes, in cancellation, we have to have a path forward. I'm not saying back to your career. I'm not saying, but you have to have a path forward for that person. You go to prison. There is a path forward for you.
Yeah, your life is not over.
Yeah. Now, that being said, hey, if you don't have to be in solitary confinement. If you're better behavior, you can now go into the yard. You can maybe get visitation. Maybe you won't be let back out into public, but there is a path forward for you. You have to be responsible for your choices, but there's a path forward. There's parole. There's good behavior. You can go see a judge again, but cancellation is so tricky because you're like done. You're like, well then what? What about him? What about her? She's been quote canceled, or what about there's pastors that it's happened since we met 1,000 times, brother.
Sadly. Sad.
And by the way, comics too. It's everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just pastors, but it's that you go, oh, he lost his job. He got a DUI, lost his job. I'll have lunch with him. I'll help him because I can help him. And by the way, everybody got a DUI, cheated. I can help him. I'll meet him. Everybody calls me, hey, there's comics all the time. They go, still go to AA meeting right here in town. There's a bunch of them we go to. Comics are, hey, it's hard to go to AA meeting by yourself. You've never been to one. It's so intimidating. I'll go. You come with me. I know exactly to pick up your phone and go, hey, dude, I heard that, I know that you're kind of sober, and to pick up that phone, yeah, I know the path to that, to prior to that. And it's very dark.
Because your phone blew up with people who had been in that space.
Yeah. Oh, that understood.
Like in 2019.
Yeah, it's easy to get on the internet and trash everybody. But that I remember, all I wanted to, I was kind of angry at religion, at least, or I didn't really want to hear at the time, like the Bible verses, to be honest.
Well, and
I didn't need the Bible verses, but I needed someone to be like, hey, dude.
Well, and I want to thank you for not giving up on the church, because it would have been easy just to turn your back.
Yeah.
But for you to say, I'll do a Christian podcast and come back on, and we're meeting in a church. Okay. And yeah, maybe you're not doing the church tour anymore, but
I haven't gone back yet.
Well,
I mean, I go to church.
Yeah.
But I haven't. Yeah.
But you know what? We need your voice. We need people to make fun of us. We need comedy is such a great truth teller.
Yes. And I think I've seen a lot of, there's a lot of comics that are now, I'll say this and we'll leave. We'll get, right. Okay. This is what I feel about humor in Christianity. When I started in 2009, no one had ever gently made fun of these things. No one had ever said anything. So it was so like, I can't believe this guy is saying this. And pastors with private jets, by the way. Right. And now, brother, we've dug up everything. Dude, we made fun of everything in almost to far as like, well, what? Now I feel like my voice should be like, yeah, there's this thing with the baby formula, whatever. You can look it up later.
Okay.
Yeah. When is this going to come out?
Next,
all right, so
early
it'll
2026.
But there's a lot of people that are coming after the church, but not to help. They're coming to, they wish for its destruction, and they wish for its exposure and its embarrassment, and they don't wish for it to be better.
Yeah.
They wish for it to be embarrassed and to be ruined because they are hurt by it. So they want to just expose everything, every pastor, dude. So 15 years ago, it was like, let's call out these pastors with private jets. And now I think we're like, what about the 75,000 pastors that are working hard and have given their lives to this ministry that don't have any money?
I know. They're the 1% of pastors who make too much.
Yeah.
99% don't make quite enough.
Enough of them. There's bad apples everywhere. And sure, but we got it. And what about maybe the controversial thing now is it was controversial to go after it 15 years ago. What about now? I think is that where is it going? Where is humor? It is, hey, if there's a preacher that is shown that he is not leading people, like what now, I feel like the onus is on the people. What are y'all doing still going there and still giving there? Nobody forcing you to give.
Right.
I think the pastors, he's going to be, it's not to keep just, we did it.
Hitting the same thing. We did it.
We did it. We got it. We crushed it all. And I think a lot of, I look at these other comics that are like, they're here to tear it down. And I said to some of my other comedian buddies, like, I can't really judge them because I used to be like that. They were like, no, you weren't. You were never like that. You poked holes in things to see it improve. And I was never going to call a pastor by name and say, this guy, from what I'm seeing, it's funny that a pastor has a Tesla garage in his church. That's a funny idea, but I don't know his walk.
Right.
I don't know if he's a heretic. I can see from here that maybe there's some funny things about a helicopter flyover for Easter dropping candy. That's a little absurd to me, but I never went after someone by name and said this person is. Yeah. And my comedy, I think, always led to, oh yeah, that's silly. Like Chris Rock makes a racial joke. Racist and racial is different. It makes it different. Black people and white people are like this. If it's done well, you lay your head on the pillow that night and you think, yeah, that's silly that we treat black and white people different. Not racism. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
So you go, yeah, we shouldn't, as a church or as a faith community. That's funny, but that guy's got a point. Not that you thought black people were less than. That was not the point of it.
Yeah.
If it's done well.
Yeah.
And when it's not, it just seems racist. When you just seem like all the content you see on the internet about the church or just people that are against it, you go, you're just hurt. You've been hurt by it.
It's fun to see the cynicism and the hope and the joy and the happiness coexist. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful.
Yeah,
and I think we need more of that.
There's something that you go, well, how do we feel about? Well, it's not all throw it all out.
No.
Or sometimes it's not, I love everything and they can do no wrong.
It's that tension.
Yeah. Which is, by the way, if you have a healthy relationship, they should say, hey, we love the podcast. It's going good, but also, you spend too much time on the road. Yeah. Both of these things and you can be like,
be together.
Fair. Hey, we don't bow at the altar of likes and clicks and views. But also we believe in what we're saying here. We believe it's important. So you can go, oh, dude, it's awesome that we won the awards, but also make sure your personal life is in order. Make sure, that we can be. And you don't take that as you just think, oh, that's fair. That's fair. I can receive that.
John, it's been a fascinating conversation. So your podcast, Net Positive, I'm a listener, so you'll direct people
anywhere
there.
You can get podcasts.
And you are almost perpetually on tour.
Yeah, we're going tour. We're touring the rest of this year. I mean, we take 2 months off in the winter and 2 months off in the summer, but yeah, we love
That's great. Any other place you direct people to?
Oh man, let's see the podcast.
Should I delete that? Yeah, it's a great book.
You look in the camera for that. Yeah,
I did.
Still holds up. Yeah.
All right, John.
To be here, brother.
Man, that was a great conversation. Really authentic, vulnerable. If you want to catch the original episode with John, where he talks about his whole rehab journey, it's episode 604. You can just scroll back and find it there. It was a couple of years ago. It's also on YouTube, one of our most watched videos ever. And I was on Net Positive. That was in December of 2025. So you can find that too. We had a really good time together. And my wife and I and a couple of friends, we went backstage and watched a new material on Monday at Zany's in Nashville. Man, it was a lot of fun. I just love studying the art of comedy and really encouraged by the progress John's made in his life. And I think he's an example of what can happen when things don't go well. You get your life together and you get back on the horse, so to speak. So next episode, we got Henry Cloud. Believe it or not, Henry really disagrees that leadership is lonely. He says it is not. And we talk about founderitis and why you're in more control than you think. Also coming up, we got Patrick Lencioni, Craig Rochelle, Dr. Wayne Chappelle. Together, we sat down at Life Church, had a great conversation. Beth Moore, Katie Cole, and gosh, a whole lot more. This is going to be a great year for the podcast. And you know what makes it great? You make it great. When you subscribe, when you follow wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, when you tell friends about it and send out a link, and when you leave a rating and review. It means a lot. Or even drop it a comment. Would love to hear from you. Don't forget to share it with a friend. And thanks so much for listening. I hope our time together today really encouraged you and maybe even helped you break a personal growth barrier that you're facing. We'll catch you next time.